Now, the landscape of car audio for the past few decades has changed because we've introduced new categories with different types of vehicles like marine and power sports. But did you know there's a resurgence within car audio in a subculture called pro audio? Well, Pioneer has figured it all out because they've come to market with a brand new complete line of gear dedicated for those users that love it both loud and clear. Today, we've got Pioneer product expert Robert Money joining us to talk about the entire line. This is CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM, all about Pioneer Pro Audio. And it starts now. What's going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu, and now we've delved into a whole new category. Yes, this is a new category for us here at CMA because of you guys, the demand and the interest in this new and emerging market called Pro Audio. So what is Pro Audio? We're going to find out all about it. Robert, what can we talk about on today's show?
Basically, Ben, we're talking about the Pro series speakers, Pro for Pioneer, reference for open show, which means loud and clear, as you mentioned.
Okay, Rob, we're going to get right into it. But first, we're going to give an opportunity for our partner, SiriusXM, to remind you dealers out there why this is such a great add-on sale. And when we come back, we're talking Pro Audio with Pioneer. Don't you dare go away.
Hi, Paul Truman here with SiriusXM. We reached out to some of our partners in the industry, and here's what they had to say.
I can't say more or enough about just what it means to have our unit working with SiriusXM. It's like we're there now.
The SiriusXM service is something consumers want, right? So it's Paul.
That allows a consumer to listen to either podcasts, entertainment, sports, all at their fingertips. It's all about engagement, and that's what SiriusXM provides.
SiriusXM is a huge component in a vehicle nowadays. Consumers expect that technology to be available both in our OEM system as well as the aftermarket upgrades that they're applying to their vehicle.
Alpine and SiriusXM, through our electronics, are able to offer the consumer on the aftermarket side SiriusXM 360L, which is an expanded platform for SiriusXM. And it's really been a beneficial relationship for us with SiriusXM.
As a dealer, just remember, we don't compete with anybody else. We are absolutely one of the best profitability accessories you can add to any head unit that is SiriusXM ready.
And we're back. As mentioned before, we've got product expert Robert Money from Pioneer Electronics joining us. And the topic today, Rob, is Pro Audio. Now, to some, this might be a new category, depending on where you live, because there are certain areas where this has absolutely taken off. And it's great to see that Pioneer is supplying some product for these types of customers. So let's get this question out of the way first. Who exactly is the typical customer for Pioneer Pro?
Actually, Ben, there's maybe two type of customers that you can look at. The first one, which is a clear go on the Pro series, is the customers who really like to do the parties in his car, looking for car events all the time, show and shines even, and where, let's say it this way, every reason is a good reason to do the party with the car, with friends. So that is a clear go for the Pro Audio series speakers. The second type of customers is maybe the type of customers we all have, but not necessarily qualify properly at the first stage. That's the guy who love bass. They're saying, I like bass, but in fact they're not liking bass. They love bass. So that customers will be the perfect customers for the Pro subwoofers speaker. So basically the guys who maybe came back to your stores because it was not initially qualified properly, and he's coming back with the subwoofers that create a nice perfume in the shops when he's opening up the subwoofers with you in a way to validate what's happened with the sub that he just basically destroyed because he overdriven that thing.
Ah, yes. Who doesn't love the smell of melted copper voice coils? I think we've all taken a whiff of that, maybe one too many times. But okay, I understand, Rob. We're talking about two different kinds of customers. And I think this is all about qualifying the customer properly from the beginning. So, do you have any guide or tips on how to properly qualify these customers to maybe actually be a pro audio customer that you didn't even know?
Basically, you can look for 5 key points to qualify your customers for the Pioneer Pro series. First, your customers love music that is loud and clear. That's a clear go. Second, your customers constantly looking for more bass output. You love bass, like I mentioned. Third, your customers like to party. He likes to go at nightclubs. Four, for your customers, good is not enough. And last but not least, your customers like to show his toys.
Robert, that sounds simple enough, and I can already see the gears clicking in dealers as they hear this because they've probably experienced some of these customers coming to their shop saying these things, but never correlating that with maybe qualifying them for a pro audio type of customer. But before we get into the products, Rob, I think I want to take a second to get a better understanding of why Pioneer is even in this game. How did you get into it? What is the history of Pioneer within this segment and the speaker offering?
The Pioneer Pro series speakers are in fact speakers that Pioneer designed initially right after the time that Pioneer were used to break world records for competition. We had at this time with DB drag racing lots of press coverage on those type of speakers, so with high SPL, high output. During those years, Pioneer developed a strong knowledge and product, of course, that were clearly dominating the scene. The TSW 5000 SPL that you can see on the right of the screen was at this time a big subwoofers with massive 2000 watts RMS. Not as efficient as the new Pro subwoofers that we know today, and where the price tag was more than 4 times the cost of the current model. So think about it with the current dollar value and the high output power of the new Pro series subwoofers, that offer is really a big deal for you. During those years, where we developed an excellent expertise for high efficiency speakers, we've developed to officially release in 2011 the first generation of Pro series, which means Pioneer reference for open show. Last but not least, on the history, I think it's really important for the customers and the dealers to keep in mind that Pioneer has a strong heritage about music and audio in many spheres of activities like car, DJs, professional music are within our DNA. So, do we know about music? Yes, for sure. Do we know about party music? Of course. But more importantly, we also know about not only to play it loud, but also make it loud and clear.
You know, Robert, hearing and seeing those slides there really remind me of the heyday of car audio. I remember when the big Pioneer trucks used to roll up in our shows, and it was just like mind blowing the type of power that was coming into them. So it's kind of, nostalgic seeing this type of equipment coming back to the market again and at such a reasonable price point, I think is really what makes this very interesting. So, let's not wait any longer. Let's show them some product, Robert. I mean, you mentioned it there, I think, with your second scenario, the subwoofer. Now, this sub, guys, I'm going to warn you, is an absolute beast. This is not part of the regular core lineup. This thing is just over the top Tyrannosaurus Rex style stuff. Let's get into it. I think you have one there, Robert. Tell us about the TSW 3020 Pro subwoofer.
I agree, Ben. Those product were really great, but here with the new Pro series speakers, we're showing even greater product with more efficiencies and more power handling, and product affordability as well. Because the price for what we're doing as a delivery in the product here is really impressive. So, as an example, with the current Pioneer subwoofers here, that is really a beast on the design side. As you can see here at the camera, we're having a massive 12 inches subwoofers that is able to withstand a power of 1800 watts RMS, continuous power, non-stop music for many hours with big heat sink in a way to dissipate the heat itself from the big magnet, but also nice design with the ventilated basket design that actually work in perfect harmony with the spider and the dual cone in the front. So we not only have that front cone here in the structure design, we also have a second cone behind that one in a way to create a kind of a heat pump design in a way to increase the efficiency and power handling for nonstop music. So this is a dual 2-ohm voice coil in a way to let you do a configuration in a way to squeeze the maximum power that you can do with the subwoofers amplifiers that will match that beast.
I gotta say, when I see the sheer bulkness of this sub with that crazy red basket and those tinsel leads and even the magnet cover, it just screams muscle to me, and it just makes me happy seeing that Pioneer is making such fun product. All right, lots more to go through. Of course, we're talking about a complete line of drivers here, so let's move on to more of the mid-range of frequencies. We've got two models to show here. One is the TSM 801 Pro, as well as the TSM65 1 Pro, which is both a woofer and a mid-range driver.
The Pro series of speakers are designed for those looking to produce some serious sound pressure level. So inspired by Pioneer history of world-breaking SPL competition, that new Pro series of speakers is constructed with street enthusiasts in mind. So with an emphasis on efficiencies and big power handling, the Pro series lineup consists of a bullet tweeters, mid-bass drivers, and subwoofers that can be mixed and matched to deliver impressive output without requiring an impressive investment. For the woofer offer, we basically have two woofer designs. So there's the 8 inches ear and the 6.5. So basically the small boy ear, as you can see, has clearly a big magnet design for big power handling, and that's the same scenario for the 8 inches. So we're talking about a 200 watts RMS power handling and 120 watts RMS of power handlings for the 6.5, with an impressive efficiencies for both drivers. That is 96 dBs ear for the 8 inches and 94 dB for the 6.5 ear.
I think you'll agree with me that the aesthetics on these drivers, what we've seen so far, is absolutely gorgeous. I think the design team at Pioneer just knocked this one out of the park. They're going to be very attractive to that type of customer that Rob has taken the time to kind of identify. So we've covered subwoofer, we talked about some mid-bass, mid-range drivers, and of course, I'm going to guess there's some pretty massive tweeter options here as well.
Yes, Ben, you're totally right. So those speakers look really great, and the tweeters are really as impressive as they look. So as an example here with the 4 inches tweeter, we're talking about a 300 watts RMS tweeter with the 106 dB of efficiencies. So like you can see on the back, the magnet is not small. In fact, the magnet is bigger than many full range speakers that a lot of customers and dealers will know. And on the left side, you'll see the small tweeters, still big, 3.5 tweeter with 150 watts RMS and 100 dB of efficiencies for that 3.5. That can fit basically in a 3.5 or 4 inches opening for the dash of the vehicle if you wanted to. So really nice looking. Look at those tweeters.
So I'm going to say this right now. I mean, let's be honest, based on the size of those two tweeters right there, this is not going to be for the customer that doesn't have the space or the area to accommodate this type of driver. Again, the 106 dB efficiency is absolutely over the top. Tweeters with magnets of that size are Honestly, kind of cool. This is for optimum output. That's something that we need to remind you of. And if you do the research, I mean, you see guys do more than just a pair of tweeters. I've seen 4, 5, 6 tweeters in a door. And this is kind of where that whole pro audio thing goes. So, Robert, we've talked about some woofers, we've talked about drivers, we talked about some tweeter options. But there's something interesting that we can explore even further with the tweeter. And it's kind of cool that Pioneer kind of thought of this. And this is, I guess, infield servicing is what we would call it.
Yes, Ben. That is what I can call the one more things, as the Steve Jobs was saying. So the 4 inches tweeter is basically a field serviceable diaphragm assembly. So it's not just the diaphragm. So we make it really easy to replace. So for the 4 inches tweeter, you remove the 4 screws in the front, the screw in the back, and you can put this out things in a way to do a field service. So for the 3.5, even simpler than that. So you just need to remove the back screw of the unit. Once it's done, as I was saying, once it's done, because it's a long screw, you remove the magnet, pull it out, throw it away, put it back like here. So you see the alignment pin with the hole. So you just need to put these things here this way, put it back this way, and trying to do the real time, screw it back. I should have a drill for screwdriver. And it's done. You have a new tweeter.
And last but not least, we do have one more trick up our sleeve, because for you guys that were wondering, hey, what about if I have 6x9 holes? Don't worry, Pioneer's got you covered too.
Yes, Ben, play it loud. Play it full range with the hole-in-one solution, kind of. So that 6x9 is a 6x9 opening woofer, basically, where we integrate a similar tweeter design as the 3.5 tweeter, but in a two-way 6x9 that you can play really loud and clear.
And that was product specialist Robert Money from Pioneer Electronics joining us today to talk a little pro audio chat with their brand new line of pro speakers, P.R.O, coming to you from Pioneer. If you're looking for more information on any of the products covered on today's show, go on and hit up that link below, and you can get more details and specs on every component we discussed. Now, my takeaway from this is pretty simple. Pro audio. Did you know about it? Well, if you watched this show, then hopefully you learned a thing or two. Rob took us through the process of qualifying the customer. And if you've had that customer that's come in with that legendary burnt coil smell, this may be the right product for you. It's certainly an emerging market. I love it because it plays loud. It gets people in a happy place with their friends. They share their passion, share their music in open spaces, and it's affordable, which is kind of cool, especially for new, younger generation kids that want to get involved with a car audio experience. Not only that, the aesthetics on these components are absolutely gorgeous, and to boot, the performance and the efficiency, well, I think the numbers speak for themselves. That's it for this CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.